genauso wie ein TV-Sender noch geschrieben worden ist. Ja, aber nicht mit der Presse. Also hast du eine Wahl bei
So it's a story of high public interest that is not originally in Germany, but it happened in Austria. We received a video that showed that the Vice Chancellor of Austria seems to be open for corruption. It's the story of a trap. He was trapped by a decoy who pretended to be the niece of a Russian oligarch, and she said she would spend millions and millions of euros in Austria. She said she would like to buy the most important paper in Austria and would help him in the elections. And so if he would hand over public and state contracts to her, so she could make a lot of money. And he was very open to that. And that's a story of huge public interest, because that's not what a politician should act like. All the action was in a villa in Ibiza, a small island of Spain. And they set up this villa with a secret cameras. So in the end we had more than 20 hours of film, and they taped the meeting between the Vice Chancellor of Austria, who was at the time of the meeting not yet Vice Chancellor, with a Russian decoy and 3 more people. And the whole meeting was a long negotiation about how they could find each other in terms of how she could invest and how his party could benefit from it with money that seems to be black money. So the day after we published, mid of May this year, the Vice Chancellor had to step back immediately, and he was in a coalition with a Conservative Party, and the Chancellor of Austria, he later on the next day, he announced that there would be snap elections, and the whole coalition broke. There were mass demonstrations in Vienna, the capital of Austria, so it had a huge impact on our neighbor country. Well, we don't really do stories for the impact. We want to tell what we know. We want to show what we've got, and then it's it's the job of the politicians and the people to react to that story. But in this case, it seemed so obvious that there was a person in power who's not really suited for being in power, as he seemed to be open for corruption. So I felt that it was a good decision by the Austrian government to break up the coalition and call for snap elections. So we received the video in a very secretive way. Someone turned to us and said, "Well, I've got a video showing proof that a high figure in the European politics seems to be open for corruption." And we met at a secret location, and we were allowed to see the first 15 minutes of this video, and that was already enough to see that this is a huge thing and it's a high public interest. So after a couple of more meetings, we finally got a hold of the whole video, so we could show it's not manipulated. We could do all our fact-checking and then in the end publish. So it was a long story. It was a long time that we spent on this story, but in the end we could publish the video. Of course, we don't speak about our sources, and so we can't tell who it was that handed over the video to us. and there are a lot of rumors and speculations, and we will see if the backstory will hit the public someday.